While I keep it anon on the internet, in real life, I'm a part of a middle school theater teachers group on Facebook. The other day, I read the most horrifying story, which I'll let you read here. I'm going to keep the person who posted it anonymous out of respect for them. Here it is, lightly edited for clarity. Background info: this is my first year teaching theater, first year in middle school, and first year in public schools. I was previously in a Catholic school for 13 years and was in early childhood most of those years. I've been doing theater personally since I was 5, got my BA in drama/theater, and am licensed to teach theater K-12. My principal has never once stepped foot into my classroom this year. I was observed twice, for 15 minutes, by my AP. Anytime I struggled, I went to them for help/guidance. There is no curriculum, only benchmarks which suggest that kids have consistently been learning theater since K. My students have little to no knowledge of theater. I introduced improvisation, elements of drama, and playwriting for the first 2 marking periods, culminating in a holiday show in which my classes performed the plays they wrote. Were they Broadway caliber? No. I let them use their scripts because by the time we finished writing the piece, there was no time for memorization and, I might add, these are kids who didn't even want to perform on stage. I teach them twice/week. I have no access to the stage, everything is done in my classroom. So my principal tells me I'm not meeting expectations and thinks I'm better suited to teach elementary school or early childhood, not theater. She said she doesn't see my passion for theater, after first suggesting that I don't have a passion for it. She said she wants the arts program to look like Fame. Oh, and all this when I'm about to start rehearsals for the spring musical tomorrow. Now I have to see her at some point tomorrow, and let her know if I'm planning to stay on, and what. Or take the opportunity to look into available positions elsewhere. I feel like an utter failure and I'm so angry and upset. Phew boy. Yes, this principal wanted a first-year middle school theater program to look like Fame, the 1982 TV show that follows high school students at a performing arts high school that they had to audition to get into, with private art school funding, no less. Also, this principal hasn't ever seen the show. Because it's mainly about how these young performers are systematically abused in the name of making it to the detriment of their physical and mental health, as well as dealing with other very serious life issues like drug and alcohol use as well as teen pregnancy. That doesn't sound like something this poor teacher should aspire to, but I digress. Unfortunately, this teacher is not alone in the often clueless and just plain disrespectful interactions fine arts teachers frequently have with administration, colleagues, and parents. We're not core subjects. Theater teaches both English and math skills, but that's a conversation for another day, so we don't matter, and it's perfectly fine to pull kids out of our classes and disrupt our instructional time for any number of asinine reasons, right? After all, Tommy can miss rehearsal if he's failing a class, but he better be front and center to quarterback the football team Friday night. In my own experience as a teacher, I'll never forget when I was asked when I'd be doing a real show after doing a virtual one, which I chose to do because I was still concerned about COVID. It was such a slap in the face to countless hours I'd put in after school doing the best I could as a first-year teacher with limited resources. I did a full play, auditions to performance, with costumes and tech and everything, and I was, and still am, really proud of it. The kids had a blast. It was a small cast, but this was my first semester at the school. I was just happy a few kids even auditioned. If you've gotten this far, thanks so much for listening. I'm here writing this post to offer some tangible advice on how administration, parents, and colleagues of fine arts teachers can support fine arts teachers in meaningful ways. 1. Ask, don't assume. This goes for all teachers, but especially fine arts teachers. We always have a reason for why we chose a certain play or musical, or why we choose to sing/play a certain piece or use a certain art form for our visual art. So many factors go into our selection process, and we make all of our choices specific to our unique student and other parameters, such as funding. 2. Help them with fundraising. Funding is the #1 way to improve the quality of any fine arts program. I'm not saying you can't have amazing arts programs on a budget, but fundraising is the #1 source of our stress. We have to secure the rights to plays, musicals, and pieces of music, and it's very rarely free. We need consumable materials to make visual art. Shocking, I know. If you have any connections to community organizations that can help us out with donations, volunteers, etc., ask us what specifically we need. I guarantee any fine arts teacher has something they would love to have for their program, but funding often gives us obstacles and limitations to the quality of the program we would love to have. We can even have trade local businesses advertising space in our programs at performances for some fundraising for the program. Funds help keep things going, just like sports. Discuss this with your fine arts teachers and I'm sure they can work with you. Again, it's all about an open line of communication. 3. Be an additional adult presence at rehearsal. With their prior permission, please don't just show up. This one is more drama/theater specific. We only have 2 eyes, so additional adults to help wrangle things is something I would personally love to have. You don't have to have fine arts experience, either. Ask the fine arts teacher what kind of support they would like, and then follow through. You can monitor small groups working on one task while the fine arts teacher works with another group, just like co-teaching or being a classroom assistant. Again, ask the teacher what kind of collaboration style works best for them. 4. Spread the word about auditions and performances. Students can only hear our voice talking about auditions and upcoming performances so many times. Help get students excited about the potential to try something new and help us grow our program. 5. Hype up the program. Do you know what it would mean if the coaches at schools hyped up auditions for the school musical as much as they hyped up football tryouts? A dream come true. You will find a true ally from that arts teacher if you support them like that. That will come back to benefit you tenfold, I promise. To stereotype for a minute, the opinion of male role models means a lot to young men, who are often underrepresented in the performing arts. 6. Encourage students to rehearse on their own. Offer to run lines with an actor. Run the music for a singer to practice their part in a song. Run the metronome for a band student who needs to practice their instrument. Encourage them through the productive struggle of learning their part in whatever their fine art is trying to accomplish. 7. Get a group of adults together and help set up/take down for a performance as well as cleaning/maintenance. This is such a huge physical task fine arts teachers often have to do themselves or get students to help them with, and they have a ton of other tasks on their to-do list. Trust me, we're exhausted. Setting up for a concert is enough to do us in some days with the immense amount of stress we're under getting ready for performances and researching what we're doing next. 8. Volunteer to help behind the scenes. Do you know how to sew? Volunteer to help make or upcycle costumes. If you can hold a paintbrush, you can help paint a set. If you have graphic design experience, or even if you don't, ask if you can design a program for the performance, and print those out/pick them up. Volunteer to sell tickets at the door for a performance. There's so much you can do with just a little time, and trust me, every little bit helps to make the fine arts happen. 9. Come with us when we're out and about in the community. Volunteer to chaperone a field trip to see a performance at a local theater. Come support us when we perform at local festivals, state fairs, one-act play competitions, etc. The ability to impress people whose opinions they care about is incredibly motivating for students. Thanks so much for reading/listening/however you are engaging with this post. I hope this has given you lots of ideas, and more importantly, I hope you are willing and able to give the wonderful fine arts teachers in your life support. We're all on one team in education, and we've got to stick together.